Today is story time. We're going to put a little twist on his story. There are all types of truth in this world, but we've seemed to have collected a whole bunch of lies. So let's listen to a different version of the story of life.
During the Ice Age, the ocean levels dropped, exposing the Bering Strait land bridge between Asia and what is now Alaska. Our ancestors would come out of Africa, go into Europe. Some stayed, others kept wandering. Some stayed low above the Mediterranean, others went high. They populate Asia. They keep looking because there's a land bridge there. They don't even know it's a bridge, it's just more land. And they enter North America. From there, there's kind of the only way you can go is south at that point. The weather gets a little better. The Ice Age ends. The glaciers melt back into the oceans. The ocean levels rise, closing the land bridge, stranding a branch of the human species for 10,000 years. Now you have Europe, Asia, Africa, and North and South America, and they know nothing of one another. Now, Columbus crosses the Atlantic, makes contact with humans. This is the first time that has happened in 10,000 years. We have rejoined two branches of the human species. During the Ice Age, the ocean levels dropped, exposed.
So, this is a part of history that people neglect to tell most of us in our history classes. And everybody's heard about the Bering Strait and that there were a land bridge, and that they've also heard that Africans walked out of Africa and populated this earth. I'm just wondering, why did it have to be whitewashed and hidden? Let me tell you something else.
African people united. 1. Superpower. We are a 2 billion people. If we united, we would be unstoppable. 2. Peace. If all the black people all over the diaspora united, we could have the power to create peace in the world. 3. White supremacy. If black people united, we could destroy white supremacy. What if African people
Okay. This is going to sound a little weird because after all that has been done to Europeans, let me say European Africans and Africans, period, I would like to say that the evidence points to everybody coming from one root, and that root is Africa. So, would that mean that we're all brothers and sisters? Of course. But just like family today, you understand that you can't always trust your family. You understand that you have selfish ones in the family. You understand that some people in the family want it all. They don't care about anybody but themselves. Let me tell you, the fact of the matter is, human beings, and then there's another story to that story. It's Hue, Hueman, because we're all different shades, but one root. And it doesn't take rocket science, quantum physics, or anything like that, biology and physics masters to understand that. If you cut a man open, you find the same parts and the same red blood. You understand? Just don't let the exterior fool you. Now, I have something else. It's another type of creation story. And it's one that will be hard to believe. But I must put this out here. Some say that another race visited this earth some time ago, and that they brought people to slaves with them, and that they were mining for precious resource that they needed for their planet. And in all of this time that they were here, that they may have created a race of human beings that we actually don't know about. But Egyptians wrote everything down. They put things on the wall that we don't understand to the day. They were said to be able to build monuments and pyramids that people can't construct today. So they may have some truth to a lot of the stories. But after hearing the lies of his story and of history taught to us, I don't believe anything without proof. But let's hear a little bit about another lie that was told to us and another version of the creation story.
Stop right now. Whatever you're doing, put it down. Because what I'm about to share with you will change everything you thought you knew about yourself. Everything. For your entire life, you've been living under a lie. You've been called human, a word meant to keep you small, powerless, and disconnected from your true potential. But today, we're ripping that label off and breaking through the illusion. You are human, a being made of light, vibrating with limitless energy and infinite potential. And the reason this truth has been hidden from you, because once you know it, you'll never be the same again. Once you realize who you really are, there's no going back. This isn't just another self-help mantra. This is the gateway to total transformation. By the end of this video, you'll be armed with the secrets of light, color, and vibration that will forever change the way you see yourself and the world around you. Get ready, because you're about to unlock the most powerful force that's been hiding right inside you. It's time to wake up and harness the energy that will reshape your reality. Have you ever felt like there's more to life than this? That you're more than just flesh, bones, and endless routines? You're not alone. Millions of people around the globe are waking up to the feeling that something's been kept from them, something big. Since the day you were born, you've been told a story that you're just a physical being, that you're separate from the energy around you, that you're powerless to change the circumstances of your life. But what if I told you this is all part of an elaborate illusion, one designed to keep you from realizing the truth about who you are? Let me let you in on a secret. The word human isn't just a label, it's a trap that has its roots deep in the ancient language of control. You've been conditioned to see yourself as something less than you are, but that ends now. You are human, a being of pure light, energy, and vibration, intertwined with forces far beyond your physical form. Your essence vibrates on frequencies you've barely begun to understand. You're not separate from the universe around you. You are the universe. Ancient civilizations knew this. The Egyptians worshipped the power of light, symbolized by the sun god Ra. And modern quantum physics? It's starting to catch up, revealing the deep interconnectedness of all things. This means you're not just a cog in the machine. You are a creator, a force of light with the power to shape reality. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, sends out waves of energy that ripple through the universe. Now, are you starting to see the lie? The world has been hiding your power for too long, but not anymore. The real question is, what will you do with this newfound truth? Words aren't just sounds or symbols, they're power. They shape how we see the world, how we see ourselves, and more importantly, how we limit ourselves. Think about the word human. It's a term rooted in Latin, tethering us to the physical, suggesting we're nothing more than flesh, bone, and earth. But what if I told you that this very word has been holding you back?
So, we end as we started, an African people, whether you like it or not. And one of the things that we have to understand is that as an African people, we will have to deal with each other no matter what. And if we don't, it means we'll destroy one another. Okay, bear with me for a moment Since we've heard that words have power, I want to give you a picture of what those words and symbols have done to enslave you, so that you can use the preceding video to free yourself of those things that have supposedly put you closer to God, but has kept you in bondage. We are all African people. While all people may make this claim on a genetic basis, genetics is not the only determinant of identity. We agree that attributing the source of personality or cultural identity solely or primarily to biogenetics as inappropriate. It is likely true that one's biogenetic history may predispose one to a given behavior, but that the interaction of human volition and cultural context, including spirit, are the final determinants in personality or cultural identity. I'd like to give a shout out and a thank you to Kamaru, where this information has its origin. Thank you. African people in the Americas, wrongly called African Americans, Black Americans, have been, are, and forever will essentially be Africans living wherever they may now live. We, like all other Africans brutally stolen, are the extension of that first created human group. We are not mutated from that original populace. We are the direct continuations of that populace. A small amount of Africa's population left and eventually helped populate the rest of the world. Of that small amount, roughly 10% not only mutated physically, but eventually on all levels of culturally and were transformed forever, while arguably the minutest of groups are humans. They have acted and act like no other humans on the planet. Contrastly, the Africans who did not migrate out stayed to be groomed, shaped, and nurtured in the brilliance that is the African experience. This nurturing was about 100,000 to 150,000. We Africans have distinct and unique ways of dealing and interacting with ourselves, with others, and nature, the universe, from every other group of people on the planet. This should be obvious and go without saying, but with the plethora of nonsensical, we are all the same rhetoric out there, this transparent fact cannot be overstated. Each culture generates its own distinct approach to and experience of reality. Indigenous definitional system, philosophy of life, or fundamental basic assumptions about life, nature, the universe, which we might call its cosmology or worldview. It grows out of their distinct biogenetic and geohistorical condition of the world, historical. Some of the fundamental points within the 150-year African culture incubator are harmony with nature, survival of the group, collective responsibility, cooperation, interdependence, being primarily mother-female centered. All of Africa, to varying degrees, exemplify these tenets within their civilization structures. All of Africa felt and feels that the spirit reality is the primary reality, and there are knowable and trainable ways to use and manipulate spirit energy for physical plane use. All of Africa feels that members of a family who die can still be assessed and still have say-so over that particular lineage. All of Africa has an intimate relation with the spirit world. This defines African existence up to 1440 AD Gregorian calendar, or the beginning of the modern European invasion period. We were not Christians coming into this dungeon called North America. Roughly less than 1% of the total estimated Africans stolen practiced a foreign religion, be that Christianity or Islam. So the other 99.98% of us were practicing, behaving, and living like the above paragraphs. Amos Wilson goes more in depth. We must keep in mind that enslaved Africans were not Christians when they were brought to the New World. They were predominantly practitioners of their indigenous African religions and behaved in accordance with indigenous African code of ethics. Therefore, the Christian religion, along with its ideological doctrines, were taught to and imposed on enslaved Africans by their white masters. Obvious, the masters taught the slaves Christianity for their own conscious and unconscious self-serving reasons. The theology that they passed on to their slaves was necessarily biased in order to serve and justify their dominance. Blacks do not relate to, pray to, serve Jesus Christ in the same way for the same reasons whites do, even though it appears they do. Christianity as a central cultural institution has not empowered Black community in the same ways it has empowered white community, or as it has the other alien Christian communities, or in ways other communities are empowered by their own religious institution. As a matter of fact, Christianity as it is practiced in African American community has probably done as much to disempower that community than to empower it. Christianity taught to the slaves by their masters or by the dominant whites served to rationalize and justify the status quo of white mastery and Black slavery, white dominance and Black subordination, white command and Black obedience. I'm going to stop right here because I've had enough, and I believe I have stated a well enough case for you to take a look at the reason why you do what you do with the Christian religion. There's nothing wrong with Christianity if practiced in a way that does not harm the person that is practicing it. But there's a big difference between religion and spirituality. Sisters and brothers, I am not here to beat you up with religion or disrespect you. I respect your thoughts.